Hello, this is Becca and welcome. Today I'll be sharing my finished title page and first prompt for the Field Notes journal that we're doing with Roxy's Journal of Stitchery. But before I do that, before I get into that, I would just like to say thank you to everyone who has subscribed to my channel. I just noticed that I'm over 3,000 subscribers, which is quite amazing to me. You won't hear on my channel to please subscribe or share or like or leave a comment. I just truly feel that if you'd like to subscribe, you will, and if you'd like to leave a comment, you will, or if you'd like to leave a thumbs up, you will. And clearly people have done this, and I am so appreciative. I really enjoyed, and I enjoy reading everyone's comments. There have been such nice comments given on my videos, and I would like to do something in return for this nice experience that you have given me. I truly do this just to share inspiration. That's really my sole purpose, because I enjoy others sharing what they share. That inspires me, that they take the time out to share what they've done, or maybe a process or a tutorial. And those things inspire me, so I am inspired, and I in turn like to inspire as well. So thank you for your subscriptions and your very, very kind comments. I'll be putting something together for a couple of my subscribers. And I'll talk more about that in the next couple of weeks. I'll try to put together something nice as my thank you to just opting to subscribe or to leave nice comments or give me a thumbs up. I do appreciate that. Even though it's not something that I ask for, I know that if you do it, it's because you truly want to, and I thank you for that. I guess quickly before I show my page, I'll just say that in doing my box that this little Field Notes journal will go in, I was thinking of using this little postcard that I have by Cicely Mary Barker, and I was thinking of putting some of these wooden shapes of leaves and so on this cover, and I would like to antique the edges of this cover. I don't know that I would use that other flower, maybe not. I was thinking of something like that and antiquing the edges on that, but then I'm not sure. I think I may do fabric. So I don't know. That was my other thought, that I may go with fabric. And I have some things in here that I was thinking of doing, and I'm not sure which one would look better, would go more with maybe the Field Notes theme. But I have this beautiful piece of lace that I love. I just think it's so pretty. And I was thinking of maybe putting a piece of this on here somehow, maybe at an angle, something interesting, maybe something like that. I don't know. I'd have to give it a little more thought, but I have some images from the fabric that one of the fabrics that I love, and I thought that I may put a little robin on there. And these are just rough cut out. I don't know how much, if any, of the background I'll leave on there. But there's a nest. There's also a nice butterfly and some eggs. These images all make me think Field Notes. So how they would be placed on here, I'm not quite sure how I would do it. But I thought that might be interesting, and maybe I wouldn't even use all of these images. Maybe I would just use a couple and maybe put an egg or two on here. Maybe one egg somewhere. So that was my other thought. I do love that butterfly too. So that's kind of the possibilities that I'm thinking of using to decorate the box that my field journal notes will go in. So I'll just keep that right in here in my box. And I'll move my postcards here. This I thought would come in handy for when I stamp summer and autumn and winter. So let's see, let's do the cover. Here's the cover first. And I've stitched this onto the lining that will be backing my accordion folded journal type thing. So this is all stitched on. I'll give you a close-up of this. I'll move this out of the way in case that's a distraction. So I truly love this. I don't know, can you say that you love your own work? Does that sound a little bit strange? But I guess of course we love our own work because we do things that are according to our taste. So I love this. I'll just say. So I did kind of a fly stitch on here for the leaves, and I put a darker vein down the center of each leaf, and I added some French knots with some pearl cotton in a peach color, and I satin stitched the flowers mostly with a variegated silk thread, and did some little edge stitching on these as well. These little tiny leaves have two colors. There's a dark, these are done with one strand of floss, these darker vines, and there's a darker color and a lighter color in the center of these little leaves. And again, some more satin stitching on this side. I wanted these to kind of look like peonies, not peonies, sweet peas. Not sure if I kind of achieved that or not. But again, these leaves are all done with the fly stitch, just individual fly stitches coming down for all of these. And then this is sort of a dark rust color that I've used for this rectangle that kind of sits behind this embroidery of these leaves on here and greenery. And I love this because this makes me think of the books, the old books that I love to go out and look for. I have a beautiful collection, and I use them to decorate with. I use them as risers when decorating tables or a buffet or hutch or something like that. But this is what this makes me think of, the old books. And so I do love that. So this was stitched on the very first page of the lining fabric, and so I'll show how this will go together. This is my first prompt page, and I wrote a little note here for myself. This is the book. Don't put anything here because I knew I would probably want to do that with the first prompt. But this is my first prompt. I'll see if I can fold this back. I have all of this accordion pinned so that it's out of my way, because when stitching this piece on, it does kind of get in the way. So I found if I pinned it, it keeps it out of my way. So here is the very first prompt, which was spring bulb, or spring flowers from bulbs. And so this is what I did. I think when I last showed you, I had some of the tulip leaves done on here, and I chose to do a neat embroidery, not a rustic. It's just my style. It's just the way I like to do it. That's what makes me happiest. So I'm going to do what makes me happy. And so I finished the tulip leaves. There's two leaves here, and this one kind of curls out a little bit. I don't know if I achieved that look as well. And another leaf here. And the stem, this is done with a few colors, and all of these leaves are done with There were 3 threads, but I used 2 of one color and 1 of another, just to give it some kind of shading or variation in the color, so that it wasn't just a plain solid color for the leaves. And I outlined the stem with a darker color, just to kind of make it look like it's 3D and it's shaded on the sides and the light is hitting the front. And I did a little tulip here. I'm not sure if that's called a parrot tulip or what, but usually they have little frilly edges. So I decided to add these stitches in after I was all done embroidering. So I just shaded some darker colors. All of this is a split stitch in long and short, a long and short split stitch, or sometimes just long and short, not split. But I decided to shade the darker colors at the bottom. Sometimes you see tulips with that shading, and then graduating to a little bit lighter color, and then a lighter peach. And then I put this, it's not white, but it's kind of a pinky white color up at the top, where the little frill or ruffle on the tulip might be. And on this one, I said I wasn't going to stitch this. I wanted to just leave this one as the drawing. And what I did was I took my Inktense pencils and just very lightly shaded in a little tiny bit of color on the one that is drawn here. Not to put any stitching and cover the drawing, but just to show a little hint of color. And just some of the things I wrote: plant in autumn, spring blooming perennial. And up here I decided to add a bee from one of the fabrics that I have. Let's see, I think it's this one. Is it this one? No, it's not. Okay, it's the other fabric. But I took this little bee out of that fabric, and I left just the tiniest border of ivory around that. You really can't see it because it's on this ivory and this ivory, so you really mostly see the bee. And I stitched with a satin stitch his little furry back, the golden furry back, on a honeybee, and then the brown stripes stitched on his head, and this little gold stripe, and his legs, and the little pollen buckets on their legs. And then for the wings, I went around the wings and stitched with a gold metallic sulky thread that I love. It's my absolute favorite metallic thread by Sulky. I don't know if you can see that, but I thought, of course, there are bees that are flying around that you might see out in the field. I know I've got them in my garden around my tulips and the other plants, so I wanted to include that. And down here, of course, the bulb, the picture of the bulb that I had drawn, sketched in, and tulip bulb is down here, and stitched this on invisibly, and also this little piece. These were all stitched invisibly, and spring. And then down here I stitched in a little bit of ground to look like soil down here. And then I took my Inktense pencil and just did a tiny bit of coloring here around this to just give that a little bit of depth, and also to look like it was amongst a garden somewhere. And also, I forgot to mention that I made a little note that this is a honeybee. This type of bee is a honeybee, and it's the genus is Apis mellifera. And apparently there are different types of honey producing bees, but this is an Apis mellifera. And so I thought that that was interesting to include that on here as well. So the way that this will work is that this is my book, and of course, you know, we will open it. This will be for prompt 2 and so on, 3, 4. And my lining will go like this. My lining will, any stitching there's stitching here, but it's just from where I stitched the page on. The lining will go like this. I suppose I should unpin this. Might be easier to see, but the lining will go back to back with the book. So the lining will be like this, and if I opened this out, it would all be one long stream with the two of these back to back, the two pieces back to back. So when Field Notes is opened, the first page that you will see is the tulip with the spring bulb here. And I absolutely love the look of this as well. I would like it to look like a field journal done with thread. And that's why I'm trying to refrain from adding, as much as I love laces and buttons and beads and things like that, I'm trying to refrain from putting those on, because I would like it to look more like a real field journal, but just done in thread. So that is the look that it will so far, and I hope I can keep it all kind of congruous. So I think that these two pages go together really nicely, in my own opinion. I guess as long as I like it and I'm happy, that's what matters, because I'm doing all the work on this. Just move that box out of the way. But yes, so that's how it looks so far. I think that the cover goes with the spring bulb page, and spring will just be here on this page, and then this will be the second prompt, and then there'll be a third prompt here on this page. There'll be a third prompt, and then this prompt, and this will start summer. So I will take that little piece of fabric and stamp the word summer on that, so that the next three prompts that follow will be summer. And I was going to say that for both the cover and my first prompt page, what I did when I took my little piece of fabric, I had shared that I tore individual pieces of fabric for each page. So when I took a page out to work on the tulip prompt, or the spring bulb prompt, I ironed some fusible interfacing to the back of both the notes, the cover, and the first prompt, just because this is a nice fabric. This is a cotton fabric, and it's a little more sturdy than some, but I thought that the fusible interfacing on the back just gave me a nicer piece to stitch on. So I will be doing that with each and every page. I will be ironing some fusible stabilizer to them, and it just gave them nice body. So here it is. When this book is all finished with all of the prompts, I'll open both of these out, the length of the 72 inches, and I will stitch them together so it will work like a book, and I will also stitch in between each of the pages, so when it's opened, all of this is one piece. So here it is. So here is my cover, and here is my first page. And I'll just give you another little close-up here. Don't know how still I held that the first time, but here is a close-up. Totally, thoroughly enjoyed stitching this. This was just fun. I think you can almost escape into the field with this. I think being outdoors in your backyard is not quite the same as being out in the field and discovering all sorts of plants and things, which we have always done for years. So this is the first prompt. So thank you very much for joining me today and for joining me on this journey. Let's see, these guys are together. Oh goodness, it gets very nebulous, doesn't it? Okay, well, I'm not going to try. I'll just leave it. I'll leave it at that. Where did my first page go? Here it is. I'll leave you with my first prompt. So thank you for joining me, and I'm wishing you many blessings. Bye for now.